everyone. I'm Adam Brown, and this is Shell Point Today for Monday, July 21st. On today's show, we'll get a preview of tomorrow's quarterly COPD support group meeting from residents Jack Hubbard and Dr. Bill Staples. We'll also hear from Penny Modrich about technology today and tomorrow. And we'll learn about the Shell Point thrift store on Facebook. But first, we want to remind you about the Sunset Evening by the Pool event at the LifeQuest Aquatic Center, happening tonight. As the sun goes down, the beautiful sounds of singer Jennifer Gilmore will float throughout the pool area while you enjoy delicious hors d'oeuvres. The bright colors and twinkling lights will add to the delight of this social engagement. Don't miss it. The fun starts at 7:15 p.m. COPD stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Jack Hubbard has been living with this condition, and he and Dr. Bill Staples are here to talk about the support group that can be of great help to those who must deal with it. The COPD support group meets just once each quarter, and tomorrow is that day. So here is a preview.
I'm Mary Franklin, here today with Jack Hubbard and Bill Staples, who are the leaders of a Shell Point support group. They are in charge of the COPD support group that meets quarterly here at Shell Point. And for more information, you can check your Shell Point Life for their exact meeting times and locations. But let's find out a little bit more about this wonderful group. Thank you for being here today, gentlemen.
Oh, thanks for inviting us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, Jack, it's been a couple years ago. I remember I was walking out to my car. It was the end of the day. You were waiting for the bus to head home, and you said, Mary, I have an idea. And you wanted to start this group. Why did you feel the need to start a COPD support group?
Well, so many people had come up to me, seen me with my portable oxygen, and would ask questions. And I found out over a period of time that a lot of people were so unaware of what they needed to know about many different facets of this serious problem we all are experiencing, and should have more knowledge about it. Right. And I thought if we could get some people in that were really knowledgeable and could be helpful, as well as exchanging ideas.
Right, and so you wanted to start touching the masses instead of one at a time. And Bill, what does COPD stand for?
Well, Jack knows too, but it's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And it's a huge umbrella. It covers many, many illnesses, or starts with many, many illnesses. And I think, at least I think of it as a chronic progressive illness that we have to handle, as in diabetes, for instance, cannot cure. And it's what we do to handle that's important. I know Jack started the group originally for oxygen. In other words, for people who were carrying oxygen.
Correct.
But so many of us are on oxygen at night or at other times and don't carry it during the daytime. But there are many, many ways that we can work at keeping up our oxygen level. And that is probably the most critical part for all of us. Jack and I are both sitting here trying to be sure our oxygen levels stay above 90 while we're talking to you.
Right, you're always monitoring that. And it's important to know that everyone's affected a little bit differently, correct?
Yes.
And what works for one may not work for the other. Jack, who have you had come and speak?
We had Dr. Pammy, a pulmonologist, who I thought gave a really brilliant talk about for about an hour and a half. I know that sounds like a long time, but he covered everything, and it was from A to Z. It was very impressive. We've had people from the rehab center to come down and talk about the exercising portion of it.
Right.
And we've had others that were helpful to us. The equipment, for example, how to use the equipment.
Right.
And we have others that will be coming, from time to time.
Well, that's good. You always make sure you have a professional there to give the speech, but then open it up for people to share answers and questions.
Well, there'll be times, too, when we won't have a speaker. We'll just exchange ideas, because we're all learning as we go along. Don't you think so, Bill?
Oh, well, never go to bed at night without learning something during that day, especially if you do have something something like this.
Well, I encourage everyone to attend this support group no matter what stage you're in. Maybe you've been newly diagnosed or something that you've been fighting your whole life, or it's getting a little bit tougher for you. Everybody can come to this.
I would encourage, everybody can come, even if you don't feel or have not been told yet that you have a lung problem. But breathing is perhaps one of the more important things that we do day to day.
People that don't think it is important, they'll get something out of it, particularly people that aren't even on oxygen yet, but know that they will at some point in time.
Right, right. We would like the new norm to be a comfortable new norm where you're able to do the things that you enjoy and have fun.
And making your lungs work as well as possible as you mature, rather than age, is probably what we all want to do.
Right,
Our motto is breathe better.
right. Well, let's breathe better and know that support is there for you. Again, for times, locations, and information about the COPD group, refer to your Shell Point Life. Normally, the support group information page is somewhere near the middle of the magazine each month. I'm Mary Franklin here today with Bill and Jack. Make it a happy, healthy, and a good breathing day.
Once again, the COPD support group meets tomorrow at 1:30 in the Oak Room at the Woodlands. Your children and grandchildren are likely enthusiastic users of smartphones, iPads, and other high-tech wizardry. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with all of this new technology, but when you figure out how to use these dandy devices, they can prove very useful and often a lot of fun. Our Academy offers lots of help so you can reap the benefits of today's technology. Penny Modridge is here for an update on technology today and tomorrow.
Hello everyone, I'm here today with Penny Modridge of Nautilus, and we're going to talk about something you already know her as, the technology lady here at Shell Point. Thanks for joining me, Penny.
Well, thank you for having me, Terry. It's always a pleasure.
I can't say enough about what you do for people here. You take your iPads into assisted living and work with people where they are. You have these wonderful clinics that are just wrapping up for the summer in the teaching center on the island, and we're going to talk about not only the regular technology today and tomorrow classes coming in the fall, but new ones.
New ones, yes, we do have, especially one new one that I do want to mention, and that is getting around Europe on your iPad. Judith Krug came back from her trip with her husband, and she was so excited about how she was able to use her iPad as a GPS to get around Europe.
Amazing.
And then she took photos with her iPad, and she showed us some of the photos. In fact, I believe one of them won in the photo show. She won a prize. So she's so excited, and she's looking forward to giving the class. She's a little nervous, but she'll be fine.
So you and Bruce have introduced people to the Apple technology, the products, and taken them through the steps that they're the next level they're ready to take on. Now to the applications of wonderful things you can do with them.
Exactly. We like to start out with explaining to the residents why they would even want to consider having an iPad. And then once they get it, it's like, oh my goodness, now I've got it. What do I do with it? And then after we explain all of the parts, the working parts in it, then we explain how we take them through all of the apps that they can get and the wonderful things that they can do with them. And one of them is that using it as a GPS.
Now, aren't there a lot of apps?
A lot. There are over 2 million apps out there now.
How do you ever decide what app you want?
Oh, well, we explained to the residents how they can siphon it down to just the one that they want. But actually, if you think about something, and instead of saying, I wonder if there is an app there, you type in the specific item that you're looking for, and there are many apps that you can choose from, and you'll be surprised.
So what I've done is I'm interested in art history, and all the apps for art history. Yes. Or the grandchildren.
Yes.
They are so good at finding the apps that they want.
Oh, yes. The games? Oh, my goodness, yes.
And not only grandchildren, the games are fun for adults, too.
Well, they're not just games. They are brain exercises. Sure. If you say, well, I like to do Sudoku, there are apps for that. And it's not time wasting. You are actually exercising your brain.
So it's brain fitness. It's also relaxation. Oh my gosh, to relax and do some research or look at beautiful pictures or play games. It's social. Don't you play games with other people in some cases?
Oh yes, I play Words with Friends with people around the world. So actually, yes, you do get to meet people from different countries and play games with them. It's very, very interesting and a lot of fun.
Oh, it sounds like it. Well, I just want to also point out, Penny, if there's somebody who doesn't know this, that in addition to all the teaching you and Bruce do, these help clinics are amazing because you're not saying, oh, I have a question, I have to wait until next semester for an answer. There's a clinic, you can just walk in and ask your question. How does that go?
Well, it used to be that people would call me and they would ask me a question, that how do I do something? And I could only either explain it to them over the phone if I could, and if not, I would tell them, well, come to a class. Well, when is the next class would be their question. And of course, the next class was going to be sometime down the road, maybe 3-4 months. Well, I didn't like to have to put them off for that long, so I thought this clinic would be a nice way for them to be able to come in and say, how do I do this? I'm stuck. Can you help me? I or one of the assistants, and the assistants are wonderful, we will work with them and help them get them an answer. And then they're off on their merry way using their iPad.
It's wonderful. Well, I know when you and Bruce convinced me to try an iPad, and I'm so glad you did, it occurred to me that you could just start right out with an iPad. I think it's intimidating sometimes for people to think I have no experience with computers at all. I don't even really enjoy doing remotes or, making the DVD player work. Is it possible that I could connect and see pictures of my grandchildren or read internet? And yes, you can start with an iPad.
Yes.
And start with the application
Yes.
that you're looking for. To me, that's an amazing thing about technology, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I have more trouble with the remote, as you mentioned, than I do with my iPad. It's so easy, and actually, there are so many people who have just gotten one as a gift, or decided that they've heard so much about it, they decided they want it, or their computer went by way of the Nile, and they wanted to do something, so they get themselves an iPad, and they're learning so quickly, and they're finding out that it was easier than they expected it to be.
Well, we're certainly never going to replace a computer, not in our lifetime anyway.
I don't believe so.
And there's no need to. But for people looking for a different technology or to understand a gift maybe from someone, how wonderful to have technology today and tomorrow.
Yes, it's our thrill, our pleasure to do it. We enjoy doing it so much.
Thank you, Penny.
Thank you, Terry.
I encourage you to look at the fall brochure for the Academy of Lifelong Learning coming to your Shell Point mailbox in early August. And turn to T3, Technology Today and Tomorrow. Read about what Penny's been talking about. Take a chance.
The Shell Point thrift store has been a resounding success ever since it opened 3 years ago. To celebrate, they are having a blue tag promotion this month. Anything with a blue tag is $1, even boutique items. You just can't beat the bargains. It's obvious that the thrift store is a benefit to the greater community beyond Shell Point. To help get out the word, the thrift store is now on Facebook. Melody Desolé is here to tell us about how you can help.
Hi Shell Point, I'm Melody Desolé, and we're here at the Community Thrift Store. I have our wonderful Shell Point resident volunteer, Keith Farrell. Keith, what court are you in?
Nautilus.
Nautilus. And we have Patty Cox, who's the thrift store manager.
Hi.
And we're here today to talk about the Community Thrift Store and what a benefit it is to Lee County. Of course, as you can see, we have wonderful items here. Everything ranging from antiques to clothing. We have crystalware. We have furniture, everything in between. And any proceeds, tell us about that, Patty.
The proceeds go to benefit the seniors of Lee County.
Excellent. So in order to benefit the community, we've opened the store, and we also are starting a new initiative, and that's being on Facebook. So we are out in the open, so when you're logged into your Facebook account, be sure to look up the Community Thrift Store and like us on Facebook. Once you're logged in, you can see changes that we're doing within the store with also new initiatives with furniture, new things coming in, of course, sales and community walks. And Keith, what do you have to say about Facebook?
Facebook is a wonderful way to get the message out to the people. There's no doubt about that.
So be sure to like us on Facebook.
Remember that the thrift store is closed on Mondays, so if you want to check out some of those blue tag deals, head over tomorrow. It's just about time to cover all of Monday's happenings, menus, and Village Church connections, right after this word from David Howenstein about his radio show on TV, Listening to the Words.
Hello, and welcome to another encore presentation of Listening to the Words while I am on vacation. This is program 76, first aired in July of 2012. Kick back and listen to stories and poems about getting away from it all, taking time to be kind, the return of drive-in movies, and more, such as a story set in the Great Depression from Dick Miller's book, The Boxcar Kid. Enjoy a metaphorical method of flying away, written by poet Dorothy Howe Brooks, and an article from News Press columnist Dan Warner, who now lives at Shell Point. This note, these encore programs contain events and time references of the past and were sometimes written by people who are no longer living at Shell Point. I'm David Howenstein, inviting you to listen to the words any day this week on Shell Point Channel 12.
Thanks for tuning in to Monday, July 21st to the happening segment of Shell Point TV. We're going to start things off down at the tennis courts with round-robin doubles tennis at 9 a.m. At 9:15, you have a couple of options. Billiards at the Resident Activity Center, pottery down in the tunnel, or virtual bowling up in the Resident Activity Center. 10:30 is time for Disciples Men's Study Group to gather in the game room at the Woodlands. And that rolls us to 10:45 with Table Tennis Clinic in the Tarpon Room. We have a Health Connection program at 11:30, Specifics in Cardio Conditioning. This is a closed class. If you are registered, you want to be in the health club on the island. And at lunchtime, the Mahjong group will be playing in the Sable Room starting at 12. Your 1:15 options today are Samba in the Resident Activity Center, Table Tennis in the Tarpon Room, or Tone Chimes in the Osprey Room. And if you're signed up for the Balance and Mobility Training Level 1, that starts at 1:45 in the Health Club. The BDIB group will be meeting at 2 o'clock in the Oak Room. And we have a couple more Health Connection programs. Pilates Stretch in the Health Club at 3 p.m. And we move to the LifeQuest Aquatic Center for Aqua, Agility, and Conditioning at 3:30. And Duplicate Bridge will be played at 6:30 in the game room. And we wrap up Monday's events with a special event, Sunset Evening by the Pool. Go enjoy the wonderful sunsets and the wonderful music. And you know what? You might even get a tasty treat as well at the LifeQuest Aquatic Center this evening. That's it for Monday. Have a wonderful day.
Hi, I'm Terry Koleth with your Academy information for Monday. We start the Academy Day at 10:15 in the Social Center with the second session of the Grandeur of British Painting. And you can sign up right at the door. The next class is Appreciating Words at 10:30 in the Oak Room at the Woodlands. And then 1:15, Tips and Shortcuts for the Serious Computer User Computer Teaching Center on the island. Tomorrow we have one new class. It is session 4 of the Story of China with Professor Adrian Kerr.
Menus for Monday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is grilled marinated pork chops with southern rice and tomatoes and okra. The dinner special is Old Home Cooking Night for $9.95, and the soup of the day is tomato. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is barbecue chicken on a roll with coleslaw for $7.25. The dinner special is char-grilled honey mustard pork loin with mashed potatoes and broccoli for $8.25, and the Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here with Glenda Stevenson, our church administrator, and also the chairperson of our missions committee. And we're here to talk about our international worker in residence. We have the delight to welcome in just a few days, as a matter of fact, Janice Quinlan, who is an international worker with the Christian and Missionary Alliance in Thailand. And so she's going to come and spend a year with us. Is that correct?
She is, and I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Janice to begin with.
I have met her several times and had some conversations with her. I'm looking forward to getting to know her better, obviously. I do know she was born and raised in Connecticut. She is a graduate of Nyack College in New York, and she felt a real tug on her heart to be involved with international ministries. And God led her to the country of Thailand. She served there for 29 years. She, after learning the language, spent a lot of time in the seminary there, training workers and pastors and teaching Bible, and loved it. But in the last 4 years, she's been the field director for the country.
Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility.
It is. And they've got a multicultural team there. So she's pulling together people from various parts of the world, helping them work together effectively. Yeah.
Now, as an international worker, most of our international workers at lots of different fields come back to the States for a period of time. We call it home assignment. And usually in most fields, it's not this case in every field, but in most fields like Thailand, every 4 years or so, normally someone comes back. And so she's actually going to be spending a year of home assignment. Now, a lot of times folks will go to their original place of residence or their home, or sometimes they'll connect with the church. But we're delighted that she's desired to connect with us and make this her home church for the year. Isn't that correct?
That is true. She doesn't have a lot pulling her back to Connecticut at this point. And she's got a very close relationship with Dean and Joan King.
Oh, yeah.
And they've been like second parents to her. And she's been here at Shell Point, loved it. She can't wait to be here, and we're excited to have her.
That's right. And of course, they have some responsibilities, don't they? Those who are international workers, when they come home on home assignment, they do go to various churches so they can communicate something about the nature of the ministries they're involved in. And what will be her assignments that will take her away from Shell Point?
She will do a tour assignment both in the fall and in the spring. In the fall, she will be on tour during the month of October. So she'll be visiting other churches around, sharing a little bit about the ministry that's going on in Thailand. In the spring, she'll have a little bit more extensive tour responsibilities, I think 7 weeks total, but that will be broken up so she won't have to do it in one whole 7-week slot.
But aside from that, then she's with us, is that correct? She is. Yeah, and she'll be engaged in the life and ministry of our activities here at the Village Church, and I'm sure involved in the International Ministries Committee and other kinds of activities. So we'll see a lot of her, won't we?
We will. She considers herself a relational person, and I believe that's true in the time that I've spent with her. So she will value building relationships here, and I think that will be wonderful for us. She will be involved, as you said, with our missions committee. She'll probably spend some time with staff. She'll probably do some teaching. Right. And we'll just see how that ministry unfolds according to her giftedness and passion.
Exactly. Now, she's a people person, and she's living here at Shell Point, isn't she, for this year?
Right.
So she'll be actually on the island. And so in addition to sort of activities in the church, I'm sure she'll walk around the island, she'll meet people, she'll be able to get acquainted with a lot of people.
That's true. And we're encouraging folks to take advantage of that, have her over, invite some friends, and just spend some time with her.
Yeah. I know in our previous church we've had missionaries in residence, is what we used to call them, international workers in residence, and it was always a real encouragement to the church and an encouragement to the international workers as well. We can minister to them and provide support for them them, and we've already begun to do so, haven't we? We've helped set up an apartment for her and all those kinds of things.
We've set up an apartment. We're collecting gift cards to Target or Publix to just give her a shower when she comes in, and that will allow her to get herself established and set up.
Yeah.
And it'll be great.
That's exciting. Well, we're delighted to be able to welcome Janice Quinlan as our International Worker in Residence. She'll be coming in just a few days, beginning of August, and she'll stay for the better part of the year, and it'll be an exciting time. Thank you, Glenda, for sharing with us. And thank you for joining us on Village Church Connections, and we hope to see you soon.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow when we'll hear about Wednesday's legacy seminar called Beneficiary War Stories. And we'll see how the church platform furniture has been getting refinished while the church interior gets its facelift. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Monday, July 21st. I'm Adam Brown, and for all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.